This is the third video of a 6-part series on PRL electronic reporting. This video will explain how to get your reports into a format accepted by the department, as well as provide an overview of DEC's free reporting options available on nysprl.com. By the end of this video, you should be able to choose the best reporting option for you. First, we will go over how to get reports into a compliant format. Compliant format means that a report is in an electronic format that is developed or accepted by the department. How you get your reports into a compliant format will depend on how you or your business keeps sales or application records. Records can be made into a compliant format even if the records are in paper format, in a custom spreadsheet, or in third-party software. If you keep paper records, you will have to manually type the records into one of DEC's free reporting software. Please remember to not change the formatting of DEC's pre-made electronic forms in any way. If you keep records in an electronic format like a custom-made spreadsheet, you can copy and paste your data into any one of DEC's reporting options. Only paste numerical values into DEC's forms. Pasting the formulas you use in your custom spreadsheet into DEC's forms will take the forms out of the compliant format. Please also make sure that the data lines up correctly across all columns and that you do not rearrange the formatting in any way. If you use your own record-keeping software and you want to export your annual report from that software, there are two options to get that report into a compliant format. The method you use will depend on your software's capabilities. Option 1 is to have the software export the records into a text file that satisfies DEC's text file specifications. This text file can be validated and uploaded by DEC's Option A software. We will go over this later in the Option A overview. This is the preferred option for most record-keeping software. If you do not know if or how your software can export this file type, please ask the software vendor for guidance. If you can't export your data into a text file that satisfies DEC's text file specifications, you can try Option 2. Export a spreadsheet file from the software that is not in compliant format, and then copy and paste the values into one of DEC's reporting options. This works the same as the custom spreadsheet data transfer mentioned earlier. Again, if you don't know if your software can export these file types, please ask the software vendor for guidance. Now that we have a better idea of what is required to get a report into the compliant format, let's go over each of DEC's free reporting options so that you can decide which option is best for you. The reporting option you choose will depend on the technology you have on hand. This table shows a comparison of each reporting option available and what technology is required for each. First, let's go over Option A software. Option A has the most functions built into the program to help assist you with report creation, validation, and submission. Option A requires a computer running Windows 7 or later and requires installation permission from the computer's administrator. If you bought your PC after 2009, you likely have Windows 7 or later running on your computer or laptop. If you have a Macintosh computer, you can install Windows using Boot Camp assistance. Reporting Option A has all of DEC's pre-made forms built into the software for your convenience. It also provides a validation function that can help you identify data entry errors and validate the formatting of text files exported from third-party software. Option A also includes an EPA product list function that links an EPA registration number with its product name for faster data entry. Option A does not require a Microsoft Office subscription since the software does not use Excel. Finally, all files created or validated by Option A software can always be uploaded at nysprl.com if the upload function in the software does not work. Here's a look at Option A's control panel. On top of the control panel, there are several helpful tabs for your convenience. The Help tab to the right will direct you to the relevant web pages for more guidance. For example, selecting User Guide will take you to the Option A User Guide webpage if you need further clarification or instruction. If you want to use a text file exported from your own record-keeping software, you can go to the File Format Guidelines webpage. The control panel will require you to input your identification information on the left, which then directs you to the appropriate forms for your report type on the right. It can generate a blank form for multiple reports year to year with no extra downloading necessary. When you open a blank or existing form, it will have several assistive functions for faster data entry. If you hover over each cell, a note will pop up clarifying what information needs to be entered. For the county code column, you can choose to enable the county code pop-up for data entry assistance. The product list function can also speed up data entry by saving an EPA registration number with its product name and then inputting them both into the form with a single click. The record-keeping columns to the right are also included in Option A if you want to keep all your records in one document. Lastly, the validation function helps you to identify blank cells or certain data entry errors before you upload your final report. The fewer errors in your report, the more likely it will be accepted when you submit it to DEC for review. You can save forms as you go and add to them throughout the season. Files will automatically save with the correct file naming convention. The Validate File function can also be used to validate text files exported from third-party software, so you can make sure the file is formatted correctly before submitting the report to DEC. Finally, in addition to creating and validating your files, you can submit them directly through the software using the Upload Report button. If this function doesn't work for whatever reason, you can still retrieve the files created or validated by Option A and submit them through nysprl.com. If you have Windows 7 or later and can install the software on your computer, we highly recommend learning how to use Option A to create and submit your reports. Now let's go over the Option D installation package. This option is similar to Option A, but with fewer assistive functions. There is no text file validation or EPA product list in this option, but you still have access to all of the forms and can submit your report directly through the software. Like Option A, you will need a computer running Windows 7 or later and installation permission from the computer's administrator. Option D also requires a Microsoft Excel subscription. Option D installation package has a control panel just like Option A. On top of the control panel, there are some helpful tabs for your convenience. The Help tab to the right will direct you to relevant web pages for more guidance. For example, selecting User Guide will take you to the Option D User Guide web page if you need further clarification or instruction. The control panel will guide you to the appropriate forms you need to fill out for your report based on the information you enter on the left-hand side. The control panel can generate a blank form for multiple reports year to year with no extra downloading necessary. When you open a blank form or existing form, it will open an Excel spreadsheet. These spreadsheets do not have the same assistive functions that are available in the Option A forms. There is no EPA product list function or county code pop-up in these spreadsheets. When you click a cell, a note will pop up clarifying what information needs to be entered in that column. The record-keeping columns are also included in Option D forms for your convenience. These Excel spreadsheets do not highlight data entry errors like in Option A, but some columns will prompt an error message if you format the data incorrectly. The fewer errors in your report, the more likely it will pass validation when you submit it to DEC for review. You can save forms as you go and update them throughout the season. Files will automatically save in a PRL folder generated by the software. Notice that the Validate File function is missing from this option. If you need to validate a text file exported from your record-keeping software, please use option A. Finally, in addition to creating your files, you can submit the files directly through the software using the Upload Report button. If this function doesn't work for whatever reason, you can still retrieve the files created by option D and submit them through nysprl.com. If you cannot install the option A or option D installation package, but you still have Excel 2007 or later, you can individually download the option D Excel spreadsheets as an alternative. These forms are identical to the Excel spreadsheets generated by the option D installation package, but you do not need to install any software or have administrative permission to access them. These spreadsheets will open on both Windows and Mac operating systems. There is no control panel with these forms, so you will have to re-download each form at the start of every reporting year, or you can download a blank form and make working copies of them every year. These spreadsheets can also be downloaded and opened on your smartphone if you download the Excel app. Finally, these files can be uploaded through nysprl.com. The option D Excel spreadsheets will have to be re-downloaded at the start of every reporting year, or you can download a blank form and make working copies. These spreadsheets provide the same Excel-based validation as the forms generated by the option D installation package. If you click a cell, a note will pop up clarifying what information needs to be entered in that column. Certain columns will have an error pop-up window if the data entered is incorrectly formatted. The fewer errors in your report, the more likely it will pass validation when you submit it to DEC for review. The spreadsheets work the same in the Excel app on a smartphone, although it may take a few selections before viewing the hidden pop-up notes in each column. As mentioned earlier, these spreadsheets will have to be submitted through nysprl.com. If you can't install option A or option D installation package, and you do not have Excel 2007 or later, you can still use the option O spreadsheet forms in any spreadsheet program or application that supports XLSX or XLS files. This could be Apple Numbers, Google Sheets, OpenOffice Calc, etc. These spreadsheets will open on both Windows and Mac operating systems. Option O spreadsheets are also compatible with smartphones, but you will still have to download an app that can open the files. Option O may be a good choice for your business if you want to use a spreadsheet application that can be accessed and edited by multiple people. Finally, these files can be uploaded through nysprl.com. Option O forms are offered as both XLSX and XLS files. We recommend using the XLSX files as that is now the standard file type. But if you have an Excel program older than 2007, you may need to use the XLS file type. The option O forms will have to be re-downloaded at the start of every new reporting year, or you can download a blank form and make working copies. The spreadsheets still include the pop-up notes clarifying what data should be entered in a cell. Unfortunately, option O will not generate an error pop-up window if data is entered incorrectly. Therefore, you must manually double-check your report for data entry or formatting errors before submitting your report. The fewer errors in your report, the more likely it will pass validation by DEC. Option O forms must also be uploaded through nysprl.com. To download any one of DEC's free reporting options, go to www.nysprl.com and click on the bullet that says Download one of our free electronic reporting programs. Download or install one of the reporting options under the Install column. User guides for each option can also be viewed to the right under the Documentation column. With electronic reporting, it is always a good idea to have a backup system in case you lose your report for any reason. Most computers and smartphones include a cloud storage application. iCloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive are all cloud applications and can save your records and reports in the event of a computer crash or other extenuating circumstances. To avoid huge losses of data through computer crashes, etc., it is a good idea to update your records on a daily or weekly basis and save it to the cloud, a USB drive, or an external hard drive for extra security. Regardless of which reporting option you choose to compile and submit your reports, the reporting software and spreadsheets are available to you all year long and can be used for record keeping throughout the year. Compiling reports throughout the year instead of right before the due date will make report submission much easier at the end of the year. If you are still unsure about which reporting option works best for you, please call or email technical support using the contact information on the screen. If you use third-party record-keeping software, you may also need to reach out to the software vendor to confirm compatibility with DEC's reporting options. Any other non-technical questions can be directed to DEC's Reporting and Certification section at 518-402-8748 or email prl@dec.ny.gov. Up next are more in-depth user guide videos on each reporting option. Did you miss one of the other videos? Please see our previous videos about pesticide reporting or go to www.nysprl.com and select New to the PRL reporting process, Start Here.